Good evening. Today we would be seeing about one of the most dangerous natural hazards in India, hazard which contributes to nearly 2,500 deaths annually, almost one third of the total deaths due to natural disasters. We are going to talk about lightning. A couple of days back, most of us would have seen in the televisions about 16 people dying in Rajasthan while taking selfie during thunderstorms. On the same day, nationally, we had nearly 76 deaths due to lightning across Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, etc. As some of you might know, the Chota Nagpur Plateau is one of the most active thunderstorm zones in the country. Jharkhand, Bihar, Orissa, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Uttar Pradesh, all of these places get some very intense thunderstorms, which increases the threat of lightning related deaths. As many of you would know, basically lightning comes out of thunderstorms. Now, what are thunderstorms is a study which possibly we could do a separate video altogether. But in brief, thunderstorms form due to rising air particles. This rising air particles could be due to daytime heating, which is convectional rising, or sometimes in some cases due to mountains, which is called orographic heating, or in some cases we also have thunderstorms due to the collision of cold air and warm air fronts. So all of these result in rising air particles, and through the rising air particles we get to have lightning happen in the clouds. Now, how does lightning happen? Now, as I said, the air continues to rise, and as it rises it keeps cooling down, and at one point of time the air particles become ice crystals, and ice crystals join together to become a larger particle, and when it is large enough and heavy enough that it could no more climb up, it starts falling down as hailstones. Now, when the hailstones form, you have one set of particles which are heavier, which is falling down, and another set of particle which is the ice particles, which is lighter, that keeps climbing. So within the cloud you have two different set of particles moving around in two different directions, one coming down and another going up. Now, what happens is that while there is a collision between the larger hailstone and the smaller ice particles, there's a power discharge which happens between the two. The falling particles give away power to the climbing particles, thereby losing their becoming electrons in the process, while the particles which climb up as ice particles become protons, the positively charged ones. So you have in a cloud positively charged particles as the top layer, and the negatively charged particles as hailstone at the bottom of the layer. So as we all know, opposites tend to attract each other. So when opposites tend to attract each other, they try to form a circuit which in principle becomes lightning. So once there's sufficient electric charge built up in a cloud, it resembles what is called as something like a battery with positive and negative charged particles at the top and bottom. So how does lightning form? As I said, when the proton and neutron decide to attract each other is when the basic fundamentals of lightning start to happen. So the discharge between the negative lower base and the positive top layer of the cloud becomes intra-cloud lightning, while there could be discharges between clouds, where the positive top layer and of a cloud and a negative bottom layer of a different cloud discharge against each other, which could become intercloud strikes. Now, a lot of lightning is intercloud lightning or intracloud lightning. Some of it basically starts coming down towards the ground. Now, this is called the clouds to ground lightning. Now, obviously, what happens is normally the Earth is a positively charged surface, but when the thunderstorms start moving, the Earth's surface starts getting positively charged, because of which you would have a connect between the negative bottom layer of the cloud and the positively charged surface of the Earth. So typically what happens is that the lightning does not happen in one go from the cloud to the ground. You have what is called as step ladder process. So basically different threads of lightning starts moving top to down towards the ground, and there are, while we do see the streamers from the cloud to the ground, there will be unseen streamers from the ground towards the cloud trying to connect with the streamers which are coming from top to bottom. Now, when one particular streamer gets connected with the cloud to earth streamer, there's a circuit which gets completed, and the feedback mechanism which goes from ground to cloud to complete the loop of the circuit is what we often see as one single strike of lightning. So let me reiterate once again, most of the time the single streak of lightning which we see is not the cloud to ground, but the ground to cloud feedback which completes the electric circuit. So that's how lightning happens. So typically what happens is the lightning generates sufficient heat, okay, which is sometimes nearly 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. So when the surface heats up, the air around the lightning heats up, it expands, and the expansion is what we hear as thunder. So it's the air expanding due to the heat generated by lightning, which, as I said, is nearly 5 times hotter than the Earth's surface, and nearly a lakh and more volts in terms of electricity. So the thunder is normally heard after the lightning happens. Now, we've seen how dangerous lightning is. So what do we do when we are under a thunderstorm? What precautions are we supposed to take? The governing principle of lightning safety precautions is thunder 30-30. When you see a lightning, start counting 1 to 30. If you hear thunder within the count of 30, you should be heading indoors. That's the most important thing you should do to be safe while you are under a thunderstorm. Now, obviously, you are not supposed to be staying in the open. You're supposed to not supposed to touch metal objects, water bodies, power cords, etc. We will see which are the ones in terms of the precautions we are supposed to take. The first one, when you are outdoors, is do not stand under the tree. The lightning normally could strike the tallest object in the vicinity. So if you are under a tree which happens to be the tallest object around you, there is a very high possibility that the lightning could strike the tree and it could turn out fatal. Now, obviously, if you look at the statistics, the highest amount of fatalities during lightning strikes is in the open ground, and after that it is under the trees. So the second most vulnerable location when there is a lightning strike is under the tree. And do not forget, when you are in the open, stay at least 1 meter away from a tree, because there could be lateral lightning which passes along the ground, which could cause severe damage to you. As I said, staying indoors is the safest thing during a thunderstorm. While you stay indoors, you'll have to ensure you don't stand near the doors or the windows, because lightning could pass through the walls, especially with a lot of metal iron rods which are used in the construction. Please do not touch water pipes, electrical fittings, etc. Staying inside the house, well away from the doors and the windows, is the safest thing to do. Incidentally, staying in a metal-topped car is as safe as staying inside the house. Please note, it's not the tires, the rubber tires, which ensures you're protected, but it is the metal body all around you which discharges the electrical charge around you safely to the ground. It's the metal cage of the car which helps you, and not the rubber. Please note, it should be a metal topped, hard topped car and not a convertible. In the event you are unable to get indoors during a lightning storm, and there is no other go but stay in the open, the best way in that case is not to crowd, but separate among yourselves with a distance of at least 50 to 100 feet from each other, and stay in the lightning crouch. Now, what is the lightning crouch? The lightning crouch is basically you touch the heels of your feet together, stay as low as possible with your body bent, crouch down, and ensure that your ears are covered by your hands so that the sound impact is not dangerous for your ears. Keep your eyes closed. Your heels should be lifted up, and only the edge, the toe edge of your heel should be touching the ground, while the back portion of your heel should be joined together. Thanks for joining. Do share your feedback on this video. Thank you.